Welcome to the Daily Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Meredith. I've led my family on a transformative health journey for over a decade, and now I help other families do the same. This is a place where busy moms can learn about healthy living. I hope that what you learn here helps you feel empowered to take the next step in your family's health journey. Hey everybody, we have a special episode of the Daily Wellness Podcast for you today. This is the first time that one of my children has joined me for a full episode. This is my daughter Lydia. She's our oldest child. She just finished her first semester of college. So I thought it would be really fun to debrief her first semester with you guys. I think that a lot of what she experienced applies or kind of illustrates just an approach to holistic health. And so we're going to talk about what it looks like to be a healthy person in college, and kind of what the ups and downs of that were for Lydia. So thanks for joining me on the Daily Wellness Podcast.
Yeah,
Lydia.
yes, I'm excited.
So you were a homeschool student and, K through senior year.
Yep.
And then you went off and started living in a dorm. So I would just love the audience to hear how your experience was in general. How was your first semester?
Yeah, honestly, it was so good. I was not really sure what to expect going into it. Lots of expectations, lots of pressure it felt like, but honestly, it was a great first semester. I met so many amazing people. School was great. Yeah, I just loved it so much.
So when you decided you were going to live in the dorm, one of the first things that I thought of is like, how can we make your dorm room healthier? Because, there's things that we do at home that I was like, oh my gosh, you're not going to have this and this and this. And like, I was just, that's where my brain went. And so we did a lot of things intentionally, things that we bought beforehand that you took to the dorm and that we've done in your dorm to kind of set it up and make it healthier. So do you remember what any of those things were?
Well, the first thing we got was a air filter.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. We also got her a room all by herself. So that was a big thing, I think, too. Because I think, if you had a roommate, as far as air quality, the perfumes, the lotions, the candles, body sprays, who knows what they would have brought into the room as far as things that would like really decrease your air quality. So that's one thing to remember. But just in general, like anywhere that you live and spend a significant amount of time, I think you should have an air filter. So yeah, we definitely got an air filter and kind of just, you don't need a huge one for a dorm. So that wasn't a big expense and that was nice. What else?
We used all of our cleaning products we got were non-toxic.
Yeah.
So we didn't have like any harsh chemicals in the room. We also got instead of air fresheners or like those plug-in scent, I don't know what they're called, scent thingies.
Yeah.
We got like a essential oil diffuser.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using that a lot, and I always get compliments. I'm like, oh my gosh, it smells so nice in here. I'm like,
just like, I didn't know you were getting compliments, so that's great.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so she has a communal bathroom, so she doesn't have to clean the bathroom. But we did send like some cleaning products for just like sweeping and dusting and cleaning mirrors and things like that were non-toxic. So non-toxic products, air filter, the diffuser instead of like artificial fragrance fresheners for the room.
Mm-hmm.
Think of anything else?
Just in general, like food wise, we got a lot of like just healthier snacks, more nutritious snacks.
Yeah.
And then
because you are on a dining hall plan. It's a requirement. If you are living in the dorm, you have to be on a dining hall plan.
I think that's the same for most universities.
Yeah. So the food that, she can't 100% control what is there. So we tried to give her a lot of good options for when she's in her dorm room and wants something healthy, then she'll have options there. We also gave you a water filter.
Oh yeah. That's been really important because the water here is absolutely disgusting. So most people either have a water filter or bottled water, but that's a lot of plastic and microplastics and yeah, bottled water isn't good in general. So the air filter water filters, that's been very helpful.
Yeah. And has it been annoying to have to like fill it up or has it been okay?
I mean, yeah.
But
It is what it is.
Yeah. You just take it to like the bottle filler basically, or fill it.
It's like right outside my door, so not too bad.
Yeah. Awesome. And then like non-toxic personal care. Made sure you had plenty of that. And then we had a little like kit made with, different supplements and vitamins and things like that in case she started to not feel well or just wanted to boost her immune system. Have you been using any of that?
I'll try my best. Honestly, I forget a lot of the time, but it's there if I need it. Well, yeah, I mean, especially like during sick season, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
get sick, especially towards the end of the semester when everyone's immune system's worn down. So I've definitely depleted the bottle of vitamin C
Yeah.
with like vitamin C lemonade mix. Used almost all of that, um, and then like yeah, in general.
Yeah. So, yeah, having all of that in your room and, is great. But then you have lots of things that you can't control, on campus and in the dining hall and things like that. So, would you say overall that it's been easy to try and be healthy in college, or has it been harder than you expected?
It's definitely not. It's not an easy environment to be healthy.
Yeah.
In general, just because in college, college students are notorious, I think, for just a bad diet, usually because they're broke, they don't have any money, and it's just you have limited resources, especially if you're in a dorm, like, you only have a microwave and a fridge, so there's really limited things you can, cook with that, and then if you're in a dining hall, you're kinda limited to what they cook for you, and
Right.
so
Yeah, I was
yeah.
surprised even in their like they have a supposedly like a dorm kitchen, but it doesn't even have like a stove or an oven or anything like that. So she is very limited on what she can make for herself. We have to make it ahead of time and send it, which she's not too far away from us. So some of that is more possible than if you had a college student that, was hours away, wouldn't be as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you handle the dining hall food? We need to maybe more specifically, like kind of what's your approach when you go in there, knowing that there's a lot of unhealthy options, some healthier options.
Yeah, it's kinda just hit or miss. Our dining hall and my university personally, I think it just varies where you go, it's just not good in general. It's kind of like a bonding experience. Everyone goes to the dining hall knowing that it's not gonna be good, and we just suffer together. Um, but it really is just depending on the day. There's usually some kind of vegetable option, some good meat options, but they don't always taste the best. And so, really, I just try to stick with, like I just go to as simple as I can. I just try to get enough protein. I try to get enough fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
and then from there, I just do the best I can. Sometimes it's the lesser of two evils, which is more healthy than the other option, even though sometimes neither of them are great.
Yeah.
And then supplementing when I can, drinking lots of water, vitamin C. Just honestly doing the best you can. It's kind of a fend for yourself
Yeah.
situation.
Because even if you choose like a meat and a vegetable and choose something healthy, it could still be likely that they've cooked it in unhealthy seed oils and things like that. Or you go to the salad bar, then you have to get a dressing with like unhealthy seed oils. So
Yeah.
some of that's just gonna be hard to.
And then I don't really eat salads every day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that gets old quick.
Yeah. How do you feel like your mental health has been this semester? Well, before we answer that, I mean, how has your health been overall? Like, do you feel like you've stayed pretty healthy this year, just physically? Have you been sick a lot or?
In comparison, I feel like I've been pretty healthy. Definitely not at my health has not been as optimal as when I lived at home for sure. I've also had less time to just exercise and keep
Yep.
up with like physical fitness in general. But like in comparison, I have maintained some health. I um haven't gotten as sick as most people around me that I know. So I think
Hi, friends. I want to tell you about a new resource. Did you know that breast cancer is a problem? Of course you do, because 1 in 8 women will receive a breast cancer diagnosis. And we all know someone personally who's been affected by this. I started taking this pretty seriously a few years ago when I decided that I really wanted to come up with a breast health plan for myself. But when I went to look for information on how to do that, most of the information out there for women is about screenings and detection and not prevention. Knowing what I know about health, I knew that there had to be a way that I could really make my body resistant to disease and make my breast resistant to disease. After years of research, asking questions, learning, come to find out there actually is a lot that we can do as women to be proactive and pursue breast health 365 days a year. So I have decided to put this information into a guide because I really just don't see people talking about this. And I think women deserve to know the things that we can do that will really impact our health and reduce our risk of diagnosis. We talk about all kinds of things, and I get into over 30 pages worth of tips and practical things that you can be doing in your life that will really make a difference. And I really think that this can not just make a difference for you, but make a difference for the future generations of women in your family. If you want to learn more about this, it's called the 365 Breast Health Guide. You can get the link in the show notes, or you can go to dailywellnesscommunity.com.
I mean, I feel like my biggest setback has been my sleep schedule, to be honest, more than anything I've eaten. I Yeah, I have a really bad habit of, like, I like to go to bed late, then I have early morning classes, and so
Yeah.
I honestly, that's probably been my biggest struggle of trying to find a good time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Where I'm not missing all the things that I want to.
Because everybody else is staying up late too.
Yeah. Pretty much in college, everything happens after 11 p.m. So that's been really great for me. But,
I mean, do you see yourself just continuing to do that and hope it works out? I mean, because I know you have early morning work next semester.
yeah, that's definitely something I'm trying to be more mindful about in that semester is getting better sleep.
Or maybe if you stay up late some nights, then you can maybe be disciplined other nights so that you're not staying up late every night. Yeah. That would be hard though if everybody else is up doing fun stuff and you're like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, major FOMO.
Okay. So then I want to ask about your mental health. Do you feel like it's been good this semester? Yay or nay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah. I haven't really been struggling with it too much.
I feel like you can tell me if I'm wrong, but one thing that's been really good for you, just like you said at the beginning, has been like all the new friendships that you've been able to make and stuff. And you were a little bit nervous, am I going to make friends or not going in? Um, and I think that's probably helped your mental health, just knowing that really relationships are really important to our overall well being and like feeling connected and feeling like you have people that care about you and you can care about other people. Um, so how was it making friends? Is that something that you really intentionally tried to do, or did it just happen?
I do think I was very intentional about it coming into the semester. It's always something that I had, like, very intentionally prayed about before coming in. I was like, God, just, like, give me a good community, just give me, intentional friends who are seeking after you the same way I'm seeking after you, and so
Yeah.
I definitely feel like He's answered a lot of those prayers, even, like, my friends on my floor,
Yeah.
my dorm floor, I go to church with them, I go in small group with them, I go, um, to, like, a Christian ministry together, and I feel like that community, has allowed me to grow my spiritual health, which is correlated to my mental health. My spiritual health and my mental health are almost essentially, or they're very closely tied, in my opinion. And so having that community to keep me accountable, and going to all those things, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like I was thinking about your mental health and how your friends have helped with that, but because you've chosen your friends wisely, like that's also like spurred your spiritual health and like helped you in that area. And that's just like an illustration of how like holistic our health is, right? Like that one thing ties into another and is connected to this other thing and so on and so forth. So that's really cool to see how that is all. But I think you were intentional about that. You prayed about it and then when you got there you really sought that out. So what tips would you give to other college students who are hoping to make some good friendships in college too?
Yeah, I was actually just talking about this with another one of my friends who's like, well, another one of my friend who's about to go into college. And I just said like, basically, like, you wanna find friends who are on the same walk of life that you are in, and so, honestly, just going to the things that you would already go to without the people without thinking about the people that are gonna be there. So going to church, even if it's by yourself, going to, like, different Christian ministries, and then, yeah, just making those lifestyle choices that are important to you, and then those same people who are walking that same path of life will also be at those same destinations. They'll be in those same spaces. And so, yeah, if you don't want to make if you don't want to make friends that are, you know, have the same mindset as you or have the same goals as you, then don't go to those spaces that they're not going to be there.
Yeah.
And then expect them to, you know,
Yeah.
help you grow in the ways that you want to grow.
Because there's tons of events that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, tons of things that you can get involved in, especially at the beginning of your semester. I remember just like being so many things for like new students to get involved in. So you have tons of opportunities. So you can just kind of filter through those.
That's great advice. I like that.
What would you say has been surprising to you about like some unhealthy habits that you've seen in friends? Because I don't know, being at home and kind of with a crunchy mom and, us really focusing on health at home and then going to another environment where, you know, people haven't had that same instruction and they don't have those same like healthy habits. Like what has really stood out to you is like, oh my gosh, this is really unhealthy.
I just feel like people, I just a general observation, people just aren't as informed. It That's how I think of like a big struggle. Just for like, just anyone is just like being misinformed, not knowing how to get like the good information or the like vital information to your health because there's so many different conflicting opinions out there. Like just scrolling on social media, you'll see 100 different opinions on how to lose weight or like what is healthy and not healthy to eat. So a lot of just misinformation and also not knowing how our food impacts us, like not understanding that the food you're eating is the fuel for that your body runs on, and so what you're putting in is the quality of life you're gonna get, or it definitely has a big impact on it. But yeah, just not really making the connection to maybe what I'm eating is making me sick all semester. Maybe what I'm eating is making me have brain fog or like not having like good clarity in school and anything like that. So yeah, not making those correlations is something, just a general attitude that I noticed, but
I can see that.
yeah.
So what would you educate though? Like what would you tell your college student friends? Like if they asked you like, Lydia, how can I be healthier this semester? What advice would you give them?
Just be intentional and informed about the food you're putting in your body. Your body can't run on sugar and refined carbs. All semester long and not feel the effects of that. So just getting good protein in because that's how your brain runs, or getting good fiber in because that's your body just needs that to function. So
Yeah.
just understanding what your body needs to function in.
Yeah, I think that affects their mental health too.
Yeah.
Right. So if they're eating a bunch of junk food and their gut health goes down the drain, then that's going to affect their feel good hormones and their ability to focus throughout the day and all those things. So yeah, you're right. I think that like it would be hard going into the dining hall and making good choices if you don't even know like what is good. How do you go into a dining hall and like, mentally be like, how do I want to feel today and make your choices based on that? I love that. You took a health class this semester, one of your required classes. Tell me about that. How you feel like the curriculum was and everything? Do you feel like it was helpful or not, or what would you rate that as?
Yeah, so the whole class I took was called Lifetime Fitness Concepts, and it really like it really emphasized physical fitness. So like talking about how walking is, or
That's good.
yeah, walking, yeah, and yeah. So it wasn't bad. And I think a lot of people definitely needed to hear a lot of it. There was a lot of emphasis on walking every day, moving your body, finding a way to move your body that like fun and encouraging that you keep wanting to go back to.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was also like some diet parts of it where I was talking to my mom about this. I came home and I was like, "Mom, what? This is what they're teaching you. What is this?" But yeah, just a lot of like very interesting. I don't know. I think it's personally outdated because I think a lot of their. I'm
On the nutrition side.
Yeah, on specific teaching, they were like avoid red meat, and then they were comparing oils, and it was like maybe olive oil was like less healthy than canola oil, and so just like a bunch of weird ways they were measuring things. But in general, it was helpful for more helpful than not having it, but
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah, that's been my general experience too when I have had, like, I don't know, it's a state school, so it's like, government curriculum basically, and you're gonna have, like, just a trickle down of what people have learned, and they're just passing along the information that they've learned. So if you haven't really gone outside of that one, like, stream of information and, like, learned from other people, or, like, you know, for the canola oil thing, I mean, if you just follow, like, the government guidelines or, what the American Heart Association recommends, then that's what you're gonna think. So, yeah, when she said that, I was like, "Oh, no." I, like, going through my mind, I was like, "What books should I be sending this, like, professor so she can learn about these things?"
It was a student assistant, like, they're not even gonna care.
Yeah. But, yeah, I just thought that was interesting, but I'm glad it was good overall helpful. And I guess I am glad overall that they're making you guys take some kinda health class.
Yeah, too hard.
Anything else that we've forgotten about dorm or healthy living in college that you wanna share about? We covered it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if you guys have more questions about that specifically, you can put them, in an email to me. It's in the show notes where you can reach out to us, and we'd be glad to kind of help you guys with that. But yeah, I think just setting up your kid with good tools, like, in their dorm room physically, but most importantly, probably was the education that we had given Lydia before. Like, she knows how to go into a dining hall and distinguish what's gonna fuel her body and what's not. And she has the ability to go to health class and kind of filter the information that she's given there about, like, "Oh, that's outdated information, but this is good. I can use this." And she knows that sleep's important, and she knows that her mental health is important and physical activity is important, and all these things she already knew going into college. So I would say I would encourage you as a parent who has a college student or going to be soon a college student, to really just work on those things at home, before your college student goes, so that they're equipped. But one other issue that I wanted to talk about with Lydia, um, was kind of just about her personal journey. I just had a couple questions, to kind of get her perspective on it, because her health issues when she was young were what really propelled our family into a health journey. So when she was about 5, so we're like 13 years ago now, is really when we started to change things as a family. She had chronic ear infections, that we would then give her, like, round after round of antibiotics for. Then she had a gluten sensitivity coming out of that. Makes sense, because we had destroyed her gut health with all the antibiotics. And then she had a ruptured appendix at 8 years old that put her in the hospital for almost a week with IV antibiotics. She had kind of, I would say, mild ADHD symptoms, when she got a little bit older. So there's just been several things, that Lydia has dealt with as a child, and then, as a preteen. And I think we've overcome a lot of that now. But as your mom, I wish that I had been more educated about food and vaccines and antibiotics to prevent some of the issues that you had had. Um, so, how does it make you feel knowing that your parents didn't make all the right choices? Because I hear from a lot of parents, and I even felt this way as we start to learn about these things and, like, educate ourselves, then we're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known this, you know, earlier. I wish I had made different choices. If I had known this, then I would have done this and this. So we can start to feel really kind of guilty for not doing it right. So what would you say to those parents? Or how do you feel about
Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't know. I really you're doing the best you can. I mean, yeah, you're doing the best you can. There's no way you would have known anything before you didn't know it. Like there's nothing you can do about it. And small changes and changes later in life are better than no changes at all. So yeah, I feel like it's really whatever.
Yeah, I'm fine. I survived. Yeah, she's healthy today. And she's educated today. Um, yeah, I feel like I did initially struggle with some guilt knowing that I hadn't done things, how I wish I would have done them. But like Lydia said, like, there's no I literally didn't know. So I would just, that's why I have this podcast, and that's why I have my Instagram page and stuff, is just to give people information, because I was so glad for the people that taught me those things, that like it was like 13 years ago. We didn't really have a lot of Instagram stuff, but there were blogs out there that I could go to and read, and there were books. And I was just so thankful that moms, took the time to put that information out there and educate people like me so that I could learn. And then once you know better, you just start to do better, right? So you start to make those changes as you learn. And I see with Lydia, she's a great example of how our body wants to heal and be well. And so, even if you're kind of late to the game and you didn't start when your child was a newborn, um, you know, start now making those healthy choices, and their body will heal, and recover. Like, your body is very resilient. And if you start giving it the right inputs and reducing toxins and things like that, like, they will survive and thrive. So thanks, Lydia, for not being mad at me for not doing it all right.
You're welcome. No biggie.
So what you said your biggest health challenge now you feel like is just your sleep schedule?
Yeah, that's kind of my fault though.
Yeah. At least that's something you could change if you want to.
Yeah.
And what are some of your go-tos when you don't feel well now? So one thing I've tried to teach you is just to like really listen to your body, and like at the first sign of something, like try to take care of it and be proactive about it. So what is kind of your routine when you start to not feel very well?
Yeah.
So you do.
As soon as I wake up, not feeling my best, so I know something's up, and I know I'm gonna get sick in a few days. I drink as much vitamin C as I can.
Yeah, because we use like a powder vitamin C mix usually, so that's what she means.
Oh yeah. Or like just take vitamin C, emergency, whatever. And then I try to get more sleep. Try to go to bed earlier than I usually do.
And that's good.
And then just like, even though I don't feel great, I still try to like move my body, go outside, take a walk. Like, even if I'm not feeling great, I'm obviously not gonna work out like I usually do, but I'll go on a walk, get some fresh air, and just try to like reset.
It's good.
Lower stress levels.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good baseline foundational thing to like support your body. So good job.
Yes.
And then are you glad that I tried to teach you about some of those things? Like, I know it's annoying to have a mom that is always like, why are you eating that? Like, don't eat that. And think about what you're doing, like from a health perspective. But now that you're kind of living on your own more and making your own choices, would you say that you're glad that you had the opportunity to learn about those things, or what's your perspective?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a blessing that I probably wouldn't have been able to be as informed as like if I hadn't grown up learning these lessons, and had someone who kind of learned them for me and passed on that legacy. So yeah, I'm definitely very grateful for it. I definitely noticed the difference it's had in my life. Yeah, I appreciated it.
Good. And you obviously as an adult are going to make your own choices, and yeah, eventually you'll have a family and you'll decide what you teach your kids and stuff like this. But a huge motivation for me when I started making changes, I very quickly realized that if we start to make changes in our family with our children, then she could do the same with hers, and then they could do the same with theirs, and they could literally like change the health legacy of our family for generations. So that's part of my prayer, and in guiding my children toward more of a natural approach to health and wellness, is that they will be able to do the same for their children and their grandchildren and so on and so forth. Yeah, so maybe that'll be part of your future too, but I'm glad that you found it helpful. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode on the Daily Wellness Podcast. We hope that you found it helpful for your own wellness journey. And if so, we'd love for you to leave a review. Then come back and listen for review shoutouts on upcoming episodes. For more information, check out the show notes and connect with us on our website, dailywellnesscommunity.com.